Gay people, 10 a.m. Santa's coming. Happy Pride Month, everybody. It's nice to see y'all today. What the fuck? I gotta delete all of these old saves. Those are from, like, years ago. Let's go back to OPM career here. Hi, Quickie. Nice to see you today. Are my volumetrics working? I can't tell. I think they are. Yes, they are. Okay, excellent. And I've got my link posted everywhere for stream. Awesome. So, where we left off last time was with that flyby of the moon. This time, we are going to land on it. I am determined this time that we are going to land on it. We've got as much science as we really could right now. This advanced construction stuff here, I don't even remember getting this, but it has, fairings. Fairings are going to be huge for us, because that means we could take up larger payloads with less strain on the rocket. So, I think what we want to do here is, we want to go, on second thought, rather than going straight back to the moon, let's take a look here. So, I think the better bet would actually be to do a Minmus flyby mission. Probably using the same... let's check out the rocket that we used last time. Current game, I think it was the Grand Shitfuck that we used. So let's take a look at this thing here. Because I think what might be beneficial is to, instead of just jumping straight into a moon landing, I think sending this to Minmus might not be a bad idea, but I do think that we should cut down on a few things. One of those being, I think we should replace the manned pod with this thing. And this thing is a remote control. So with that, all we would have to worry about is having... because do we have enough for that? I don't know if we do. Because it carries no crew, which would be really nice. This has a crew capacity of 2. And it does have a top slot, so I might actually... You know what? No, I'm gonna keep this like this. However, I'm going to make some changes. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove those. Let's go to our decouplers here. Actually, first things first. Heat shield, no. Decoupler, there we go. We want to find our fairings here. I don't remember where they are. Here they are. There's our fairings. So let's put one right there. And let's put it just like that. Awesome. So we've got a fairing around that to add some extra aerodynamics on top of our rocket. Right there. That should help us just be getting out of the atmosphere a little bit easier. We have a reaction wheel, but I remember the issue we had was we don't have any fins. So I think we're just gonna put some normal... Do we want to put some winglets on there? Yeah. Let's put some winglets on our rocket. Right down there. And further up the rocket, put on some of these. Just for better control while we are in the atmosphere. Because you never know what might happen. And then on the top stage here, I'm actually going to do... No, I just want 2. Let's go for 2 boosters over here. I'm trying to get it as lined up as I can. There we go. Just like that, and then with these two boosters, or not boosters, these two decouplers right here are going to hold these. Just like that. It looks a little bit silly, but who cares? Just like that should work. Actually, I'll put them a little bit further down. Just like that. And then on top of them, they will get... That's way too big. Two nose cones there. These ones can keep these. I think this should be good for a rocket design. So we need to fix up the staging again. So these are going to go up with this engine. All the way up here at the top. This stays there. These will go right there. And the fairing can go into its own stage after those. So let's call this the Grand Shitfuck 2. Save that. Let me make sure our staging is all good. We got all that on there. Then that, then that. Then these start up. Those decouple. Fairing comes off. This decouples, and parachutes activate. Okay. We should be good on that front. Let me see if we've got any better engines to use. I don't think we do. Because what we've got on here right now is, I believe, the Terrier engine, which is very fuel efficient. So I'm actually going to keep that as it is right now. I'm going to take us out to the launch pad here. And we are going to get ready for launch. One moment here. One second, y'all. Sorry, I'm checking some shit. Okay. Let's make sure my zooming is working all good. And I think we should warp to sunrise, just for good measure here. There we go. Clear skies. Our rocket's being a little bouncy. I don't know why that's happening. But we are going to go into the map. We are going to select Minmus, set it as our target. And now, it is on an inclined orbit. So, we are going to have a little bit of an extra challenge. But it looks like with the experience that Jebediah here is getting, we at least know what prograde and retrograde are. So, Jebediah Kerman, you are go for launch in 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Off we go. And hopefully we'll make it to Minmus alright. I don't know why the rocket's bending a little bit right here, but it shouldn't be an issue. It's staying a lot more steady than our original one was, so that's a great sign. But as usual, when the solid rocket boosters run out of fuel, we are going to turn off our thruster. Oh, shit. Okay, that is a problem. It's a good thing that we took a little test flight. Let's revert to vehicle assembly. These need to come off a little stronger. So, take that off, take that off. Let's replace that with a much stronger decoupler. These, actually no, the radial decoupler, because this allows for more space between things. There we go. So now these are sitting all the way out here. Let's see here. Let me just make sure everything is still all good. Save the Grand Shitfuck 2. We need to fix up our staging once again. Move these up to there. So it is that activates, this still needs to activate at the bottom here. So all 3 of these activate. Then these come off, then that comes off. Then all these turn on. Okay. Let's save that again. And let's give it another try. We'll get there eventually. Once again, let's warp to sunrise just for good measure. So we're not launching in the middle of the night. Let's turn the lights off on the craft, let the thing stabilize for a second. I don't know why it's bouncing. 3, 2, 1. And off we go. Why are you trying to land on the moon? To get more science, because this is a science playthrough, so we're just trying to get to everywhere we can. And we're trying to get more data. It's like career mode, but less evil. And also, my next goal is not actually to land on the moon. We're going to try and go for a Minmus flyby today. Minmus is the second moon of Kerbal. It's a little, obviously a little sci-fi, but like, you know, fucking whatever. Okay, that is a big issue there. I don't know why we're having so many issues with this, because it wasn't a problem before. So I don't know how to get these to come off strongly. Maybe we'll have to go with the hydraulic detachment manifold here. This is why we're doing some test runs first, because inevitably something was going to fuck up. So let's put these back on here. Those are a lot larger, so they should provide us with a lot more force in decoupling the actual boosters. However, with that being said, I do want to move these down just as far as they will go. So let's give that a try. We've got them moved down further. Let's put the decouplers right up there. Move this down to the first stage again. Everything is staged correctly. We got that saved again. Let's give it another launch. You already know the deal. Turn the lights off. Warp to sunrise. And now that it's sunrise, turn on our SAS and everything, wait for the rocket to settle down, and off we go. So, hopefully this time these are a bit stronger. I actually don't know. But if this time also fails, we will go back to the vehicle assembly building and we'll basically start from scratch, because I don't know what else to say with that. Because we're doing our best here. We're up, up, up. We're up into the second layer of the atmosphere. I don't remember the name of this thing. Alright, let's keep the engine on this time. There we go. That got us safely out. And we're still gaining velocity, which is awesome. So let's keep on going until that apoapsis probably reaches about 100,000 kilometers, or 100 kilometers. Oh my god. Brain. Okay. Now that we've got that done, we are going to try and get ourselves up into a high orbit here. So right here, we're going to just burn, burn, burn. We're gonna do that right there. Let's actually go a little bit higher with it. There we go. Okay. So, we are going to be needing to face roughly this way. Come on. You can do it, Jebediah. I believe in you. What are the other playthroughs you could aim for? What do you mean? I am not exactly sure what that question is supposed to entail. I'm not sure what other playthroughs is intended to mean here, because we are doing just one save here. '23, '22, '21. Let's start burning right now. And just try and get our orbit going as quickly as we can. Let's see here, because this is going to get us most of the way. But we are going to have to decouple after we run out of fuel, obviously. Which is going to be very soon here. And let's go. You said you're doing a science playthrough. I was wondering if there were other options. So the two other modes that are in-game are Sandbox and Career. Sandbox is about as you'd expect. Everything is already unlocked at the start of the game, so you don't really have to worry about too much. Career mode is like science mode, what I'm doing right now, but there's also money and stuff to be managing. Money and reputation. So it's like basically the realistic mode. But I do not like career mode, so I'm not going to be doing it. Okay. We are pretty safe and soundly into space here, so let's go turn that off. So, I don't know for sure if we're going to be able to actually make it to Minmus with this rocket, is a problem. But it's worth a try. Is that another Mun flyby? It is. So let's actually use that. Let's use that Mun flyby to get into a higher Kerbal orbit. So our periapsis is going to be high around the moon, obviously, but like... Let's see how close we can get without escaping Kerbal. Because the higher in Kerbal's orbit we are, the easier it'll be to adjust. So, something like that is honestly not that bad. There's obviously the issue that we're going to have to sort out with Minmus's tilt compared to Kerbal here. But we can also work on doing that, like, right now, too. So we bring our tilt back down. Like that. And then we go retrograde. Like that. Okay. And then, now that we've got that, we are going to do... Everything should be good there. So, we are going to get ourselves pointed towards the maneuver node right here. Right there. Keep ourselves steady just like that. And we are going to warp on over to the maneuver. Let me just make sure we're still lined up. Awesome. We are. We missed the node a little bit, but oh well. We're still going to be able to get up to the moon and do that slingshot maneuver right past it, which is going to get us a lot of Delta V. So this is a good strategy for us to have. Because getting over there to the moon means we're going to sling right past it, get a bunch of velocity, and then right down here where we can adjust our orbit some more, obviously, and stuff like that. But it'll take us a second to do the burn, because obviously this is a very efficient engine, but it is also a very small engine. So it's going to take us a moment to actually get on up and over to the moon here. About 100-something meters a second left of Delta V to expend. We might actually be able to make it to min-miss with this. I'm not entirely sure, but... What in the fuck is up with my orbit there? What the fuck? Dog, what the hell? Oh my god, what is going on with our orbit there? Something ain't right there. Hold on, let's point ourselves over to the target node a little bit here. What the fuck is going on? Something ain't right there. Well, I get, fucking, I guess? What? I'm so confused right now. So why are we going like that? What the fuck? Can we tilt towards retrograde a little bit? There we go. That's more like it. And our periapsis is going to be low over the moon. So let's warp on over there. Actually, cancel that real quick. Let's take our fairing off while we're facing prograde. Let me just readjust that. And then go boink. So now we can actually see. And then we're going to warp right on over here to the moon encounter. And there it is. Making my way downtown, walking fast. I hate that the time warp slows down when I approach it. It's so fucking annoying. And watch, if I try and speed it up there, it slows it down as soon as I get to that point. Perfect. Okay. Once I get right down there by the moon... Stop. Let's go... Open the service bay. Observe the goo. It's a little bit of science. I don't really care. So let's just keep it. There's our barometer. We already did that, so we don't really need that. I think we also did the thermometer. Yeah. Okay, so... I'm gonna make an executive decision here. I don't care that we don't have landing legs. We're gonna try and land. I don't think we'll have enough Delta V to get back. Maybe. But it's worth it. For the science. Alright. Let's get our periapsis way down. This is the greatest plan! I fucking love Henry Stickmin. Alright. We're coming around to the day side of the moon here. I don't know what it is about my graphics mods that makes things smudge a little bit when I'm moving my camera around. Oh shit, we missed it. Whoops. I forgot we weren't warping to it. We were just fucking, whoops. Whatever. Okay, let's go for that. And let's warp ahead. See, thankfully the orbits around the moon are not very long. Oh, fuck. Why can't I turn my craft? Oh, because I have it set to that, maybe? Come on. Okay, I guess this is an issue. So we're gonna be spinning for a second here, but we can use time warp to our advantage by stopping it with time warp as soon as we hit our node. Which is like a really stupid way to do it, but who gives a fuck? So as soon as our little dot here goes over the node, we will just hit that. Bink. Perfect. Stabilized. Our node is going to be coming up momentarily. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's keep it steady on the retrograde. And we are coming in for a landing on the moon. This is not the smartest idea, but who gives a fuck? It's funny. And we don't need to worry about that. We just need to get our orbit to drop. And we need to slow way down. I don't know if we're gonna make it back off the moon. But, hey. It's worth a try. Okay. We are slowed way down here. This is really funny. We don't even have landing legs, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult, but hey, who cares? I know Jeb sure doesn't. He's fucking ecstatic. Look at him in here. He's looking all around going, fuck yeah, dude. And then we are going to speed up time a little bit here. And we're not getting too fast, which is good. But we are getting low enough now that we should definitely start to slow ourselves down. And let's just keep our engine on at a very steady burn here. This is really funny. Fucking impromptu moon landing. I don't know, I don't think we're gonna have enough Delta V to make it back to Kerbal, but that's okay. Jebediah's sacrifice will not be in vain. We can always send someone to rescue him. This is such a dumb idea. But I love it. It's a very Kerbal idea. We're coming down nice and leisurely, nice and slow. I don't know why my Delta V is decreasing that quickly. We're not using that much fuel. We are using that much fuel. Oops. We're almost down, Jebediah. Jeb, hold it steady, man. What the fuck are you doing? What in the actual hell is bro doing? Jebediah. Lock the fuck in. Oh my god, Jebediah. Jebediah, you motherfucker, dude. Why would you do this? Are you stupid? We could salvage this, I say. That we probably can't. Alright, Jebediah, you gotta go, man. He survived! And so did the container with the science in it. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god, poor Jebediah. Well, at least he doesn't need oxygen. Oh my god, dude. Well, we landed. We're on the moon. Jebediah doesn't seem to care too much. Let's plant that flag, shall we? Let's call this the first moon landing site. How the fuck did you survive? Let's get your surface sample. Let's get your EVA report. Wait, I can transmit those? Okay, I could transmit that for 25% value. That's a little sad. Because it is, surface report, obviously. But this goes for 100%, so... Problem is, we don't have comms devices with us. But, we've got more science. But we don't have a scientist up here. So, Jebediah, you're gonna have to sit tight for a while. Does he kind of look like a rabbit? I mean, not really. He's just a little green guy. So, I'm trying to think here what to do. Because we could just reset. And I think that might be ideal for, you know, what we were realistically going for. But I think it's funnier to leave Jebediah there. Because we can't recover him manually. So he's just kind of sitting up there. So, what we gotta do is we gotta figure out how to rescue him. So, Jebediah, my man, you gotta sit tight. We're coming for you, buddy. Let's take these off. Keep the Terrier engine on there, but let's add another FLT 400 fuel tank. And let's move it all on up here. I don't know how Jebediah survived that, but good on him for doing that. Okay. So, a few things we need to make sure of. We need to figure out some way of controlling the damn thing, because we don't really have RCS engines yet is the issue. So we can't really control too well. So I think Jebediah is going to have to wait. Jeb's going to have to wait. What we're going to do for now is I think we are going to go to... Hold on. First, I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to stay hydrated. You guys better stay hydrated too. Alright. Okay, I'm hydrated. I wish there was a way, I think archives. Archives, here we go, so we can actually see what we have and have not done. So, we've got, yeah, crew report from various places across Kerbal. Oh yeah, look at that, we can see the lineup of all the celestial bodies here. Look at that. Well, most of them. Because it doesn't have moons visible, so I think you gotta click on them. Yeah, and their moons pop up. Look at that. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see all the moons and stuff. So, Kerbal. We've got, upper atmosphere, flying over the shores, from the ice shelf. Oh yeah, look at that. We see down here what biomes we have and haven't done. So, let's give space plane building another try. Because it's been a hot second since we gave it a try. Maybe we can do it now, maybe not. But it's worth it, so let's try. So let's do some of that. That is so tiny. Why is that so small? Size that up. So the wings. This was our issue last time, is we just didn't have enough wing. So I think what we're gonna do this time is start with our structural wings here. Stop that. No, stop that. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this? Fucking sure, man. Do that. Move that. Like that. Let's put these on the ends. Let's put... Let's see here. We've also got a few other things we can use, so we could also go for putting... We need a tail fin, so that's, you know, we gotta get that on there. So let's stick that on there. That was not what I was trying to do. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So we have to move these again. Like that. And this all together, we need to put back on there. And then on both sides of this, we do need our elevons here. There we go. We've got some big wings there. Move these down and inward a little bit. We've got our winglets here that I'm going to put 2 of at the front. Put them like that. Bring them in a bit so they're not floating. Awesome. Aerodynamic overlay. Lots of lift. Center of thrust, center of mass. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we actually could put a service bay on there. Open that on up. Store some science in there that we can do around Kerbal. 2 of those. 2 of these. 2 barometers. That should be good. And it closes up just fine. Let's move these forward. Got them like that. Awesome. So we do need some, obviously we do need some air intake here. So we need to put some small circular intakes on those. That's fucking enormous. That's fucking enormous. That's also too big. So I guess the back of these are going to stay empty. How do the wings help with control? I mean, no offense, obviously, but think about it. It is a plane, so you kind of need wings. I don't really know how to explain it besides that, but an aircraft needs wings, so that's what that's for. Because otherwise, you're not really going to get lift. So we've got that. We... Actually, no. There's probably a better place I could put these. So let's put one right up top here. Like, literally right on top of the plane. Take that engine off there. Put this thing on there, but shrink it. It looks kind of silly, but it works. Structural. Let's get ourselves some struts on the sides of this thing to hold it to the actual plane. Let's get some struts on the wings. Just to hold them in place and everything. Because you never know what Kerbal Space Program physics is going to do to your aircraft. So just stick them on there like that. I believe that should be good for the actual structure of the aircraft. We have better landing gear now. So, we're going to be putting these here on the edges. And they retract and extend just like that. This one here is going to go right in the center at the front of the plane. So let's call this thing the shit-ass one. Save that. Check the aerodynamics. Got lots of lift, lots of thrust. Center of mass is pretty good. So let's give it a try. Because I remember we tried this last time, and the physics decided to bug out on us like this. Why? Why are you doing that? Did it settle down? I don't know why it bounces so much. But let's give it a try, shall we? It's already a lot more responsive than the other one was. I'm just hoping the gears don't bug out on us again this time. I don't know why they did last time, but this one seems to have a lot more control on the runway. Which is, like, huge. Yeah, look at that. The thing's barely shimmying. But there seems to be an issue with the aerodynamics, and I don't know what it is. Why? Okay, something ain't right here, and I'm not sure what it... What the fuck is that? Is that a floating piece of coral? I don't know what that was. So, I don't know what it is, but the physics engine just really seems to not like my aircraft, and I don't know why. Let's take these struts off. Take two of these. Put them underneath the wings. Let's move them. Just so they're like that. Hold them like that. Awesome. Remove those. Put some more engines on them. After I go and add some more fuel. fuck? There we go. Okay, we've got more of those on there. More struts just to make sure everything is good. So, save that again. Give it another try. Hopefully it doesn't bounce around again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So I'm going to retract the gear first and just give it a second. And then I'm going to extract the gear. Okay, it's behaving. Let's give it another try, shall we? Oof, if I can adjust my chair. Oh my god. Come on. Come on. Why are we getting, like, no lift? Are the wings just that small? Or am I not making big enough wings? I mean, we took off that time. That's an improvement. But this is definitely going to not be the most stable aircraft. But at least we succeeded. We're in the air. I actually don't know what's on the other side of the water here, so we're going to try and climb. But at least we took off. That is a good thing. We're currently heading towards literally nothing. So I think I'm going to make us do a little turnaround here. And we are going to head back towards land. No, not the water. Land. Stop going down, please, aircraft. So I think the issue is definitely that the wings on this thing are kind of small. But I don't know how much bigger they have to fucking be, because goddamn. Well, at least now we are heading back towards land. And we're getting out of the fog so we can see better. Look at that. Beautiful. I think we're actually about to break the sound barrier. So the problem we're going to have landing is that there are trees everywhere. So let's do a little bit of turning again. Let's try and look for a nice place to land. We're probably not going to find one. But we're trying to find a place roughly away from the KSC. So let's shut the engine off. Well, engines, we have 3 of them. Okay, maybe not, maybe not. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Dude, what the fuck? This is gonna suck to find a place to land. Gear back up. Okay, okay, this looks promising. Never mind, there's more trees. We gotta go for it. Yikes. Yikes. Okay. So, I guess the wings are the issue? I don't know. So, I don't know. Let's take the struts off. So let's just keep one wing for now. So I think we're just going to make the wing even larger. Just to see if this will do anything. So do that. Hit it like that. Get that one right there. Put it like that. Take that off. Take this off. Take this off. Take that off. Put that on. Are the back ones too long? I don't know what you mean there, but... How are we gonna make this work? Because we need large wings, is the problem. Okay, that's smaller, so that's a little promising. We could always put this on here and try and make it just larger, because we do have tweak scale. Okay, wait. This might actually work. It looks a little silly. If it works, it works. If it works, it works. Don't question the method. Fuck. I done fucked it up. God damn it. God damn it. There we go. Okay. These are the most jank-ass wings ever, but they should be large enough to help me take off, right? Right? Fucking hell, I forgot there's only one of these. Wait, but we're not even done with this, so we need to actually get this back on here. Need to move this whole thing again. Like that. And I think Alt-click, if I remember correctly, was to copy. Awesome. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Not like that. No. So this is going to go just like that. We're going to Alt-click, get another one on there. We're making like a fucking Ace Combat-ass aircraft right now, dude. What the hell? What is this thing? What even? What are we doing? Why are these not... There we go. Like that. Like that. And like that. No. Like that. There we go. So let's put it like that. We've got the landing gear on. We've got everything else on. So let's take that back off. Set our symmetry. Stick that on there. Move it down. This is going to be interesting. The shit-ass one is truly going to live up to its name, I tell you what. Move that in a little bit. So we've got a whole fuck ton of engines now. This is such a scuffed aircraft. Okay, it's not bouncing. Oh my god, dude. What is this thing? What is this? What the fuck did I make? Oh, oh, oh! It works! It works! Oh my god! Trust the process! Holy shit! The wings actually worked. Oh my god, look at how maneuverable it is. Holy shit! What the fuck? How did that work? I'm actually amazed. What's that? Oh, the monolith. Interesting, okay. But either way, look at that! It works! It flies! I did just have to make the wings bigger. Look at the size of the wings, dude. This fucking thing. Alright, I want to go towards the mountains over there. This thing is really maneuverable. Hold on, I gotta turn down the fucking engine sounds. Spacecraft is already that far down. There we go. Dude, look at this thing. This is majestic. Look at how beautiful this is. It's actually flying. I'm kind of amazed. I don't know how this thing managed to actually get in the air, but here we are. So let's turn the engines off. Let's do a glide test. Wow. Holy shit, this thing is actually pretty aerodynamic. And if I want to, I could probably turn completely to the side here, bleed off most of my speed, and I could probably land right here. So let's give it a try, shall we? Set that to show our ground altitude. Okay, landing is a little rough. I think I know what this plane needs. It needs droga chutes. So, let me just real quick, I need to check some messages. All good here. Okay. So, I know what this thing needs. This needs drogue chutes and parachutes. So I'm gonna put the drogue chutes on the back of the craft, right there, and I'm going to put the parachutes all around it. 2 there, and 2 back here. Actually, let me turn on center of mass. So center of mass is back here, so I actually want to have these closer together like that. And let's move the drogue chutes down to their own stage, save that, and give that another try. Yeah, drogue chutes. Drogue chutes are basically like parachutes, but they're meant to slow you down instead of completely stop you. So they basically just activate and drag the air to prevent you from, you know, dying. So let's give this another try, this time with drogue chutes and our emergency parachutes. It's so much nicer now that we have better landing gear. Whee! Off we go. And let's do some climbing first, before we turn around. And let's do a little flip around now. this way. Awesome. Do a crew report here. Yeah, we've already gotten that, so let's reset that. Let's say bye-bye to the KSC for now. Let's set ourselves in time warp 2 times speed. Just so we can get ourselves settled out further away from the KSC now. Oh boy. It's a very touchy aircraft, but I don't mind it. It works quite well, so I'm very happy. Come on. Get yourself settled, airplane. Just like that. And let's time warp ahead. And let's head on, straight on over to the mountains here. Now that we are at the mountains, let's do a little turn here. Even ourselves out, and head on further forwards. Alright, we have arrived in the Highlands. I'm going to turn our things off, turn our gear on, get us to slow down a bit here. Do a little loop-de-loop here. Now that we have bled off almost all of our speed, activate the drogue chutes, activate the parachutes, and hope that we land safely. We are coming down just fine here. Should be landing in not the most ideal spot, but who cares? It was a good first test flight. We're going to be landing right here in the middle of a forest. Let's actually cut that and cut that chute. I think we lost, some of our engines there, but we're not taking back off anyways, so it doesn't matter too much. Toggle the brakes so we stop, turn our gear off, shut down our engine, let the spacecraft sit. Let's get that, open that up, get that. You observe the goo, log the data, log the temperature, go EVA, take a surface sample, EVA report, plant flag, and yay, airplane. Yay. And then we are going to get back into the aircraft here. Awesome. We've got all of our science and everything done. Let's recover that vessel. And we got 22 science from that. Nothing huge, but enough that I think we might be able to afford... No, we won't be able to afford anything else. Oh well. I wonder, are there going to be any empty nodes on here? Because I know one of my mods was yelling at me about incompatibility, saying some shit about, well, you've got a mod that's not going to work well with this and that. So let's see. I don't see any issues, so we should be good. But yeah, that worked out quite well. So now what we've got to figure out is how we are going to get our buddy Jebediah Kerman back from the moon, because he is sitting right there, right in a big crater. So, we are going to go into the vehicle assembly building, load up the Grand Shitfuck 2, and we're going to make some modifications. So, first things first, we need landing gear. And that landing gear, start retracted. That should be good. Remove the fairing for now. So, what we need to do here is do some editing to this. That needs to stay on there. But we do need to have a decoupler underneath here. TD12 decoupler. We need to have fuel here. What happened to the Grand Shitfuck 1? That was the one that I used to do a flyby of the moon. So it just kind of got... It got used and it worked just fine, so... I don't really know. I don't really have much else to say about it. Because it just kind of worked out, so... There were no real issues there. We're not going to need a ladder because it's going to be the moon. But this is going to be a problem that we're not going to have room for 2 crew. So we might actually need to swap it out for this thing. So let's get rid of these. Get rid of that. Use that as our base. I don't know why that one disappeared when I tried to use it. But let's do that. Stick that on there. Can they even get in and out of this thing? I don't know. So I'm gonna call this thing the Grand Shitfuck 3. I'm going to save it. So I'm going to edit that fairing. Build the fairing here. It is going to go out, up, 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 and like that. I'm gonna put this stuff right on top of the craft. And also put this stuff on it. But before we do anything with the Grand Shitfuck 3... Oh, hold on, I gotta move it up and out of the ground. Before we do anything with this, I just want to, real quick, put one of these out. We've got 2 Kerbals in it, so let's send this to the launch pad and just see if we can actually EVA from this thing, because if we can't, that's going to be an issue. We cannot, so that's a big problem. So... that's an issue, so let's go back to the Grand Shitfuck 3. This one here. And with this one, we're gonna need to, instead of having that, we're actually going to need just the normal command pod. Set it back to normal. Do that. I'm gonna need to edit the fairing again. Make it as slim as we can. Just like that. Let's put a parachute. Actually, what am I doing? Why am I setting up the fairing already? That's not what we're trying to do. So this mission, because it is not going to be science focused, I can do away with that. But what I do need is I need to get a Mark 1 crew cabin Put that on there. Rotate it just like that so it looks nice. It still looks kind of fucked up, but who cares? This goes back on here. I'm actually going to make an executive decision here that I'm going to double layer the heat shields just in case. It looks a little fucked up, but it'll work. It's no big deal. But this should... but the problem is not enough delta V there. So we might have to do something strange here. We might actually have to wait to get Jebediah back. I think we're gonna have to wait. Sorry, Jeb. So I think our next goal, actually... Let's load up the Grand Shitfuck 2. No, let's load up the Grand Shitfuck. And with the Grand Shitfuck, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do some modifications. Such as completely removing the main pod in favor of one of these. Putting this back on there. We don't need a heat shield. What am I doing? I should just build a whole new fucking craft. Let's do that. Get our Mark 0 liquid fuselages on there. Spark engine on there. This is going to be the upper stage. So the aim of this thing is literally going to be how far can I get from Kerbal with a probe. So I'm going to... Ooh, this is going to be an issue. Problem. I don't know how we're going to stage this. It can look awkward. I don't give a fuck. It can be awkward. I don't care. Put some fuel tanks on here. Actually, is this the adapter that we need? Not quite, no. Oh well. But let's put a few of these on here. Make them look all nice, obviously. Like that. Let's put the Kodiak liquid fuel engine on there. Move that further up. This thing is basically just going to be how far can we possibly get a craft from Kerbal. Let's put ourselves a little service bay here. Wait, I wonder. Can I just... I can. So let's actually not fuck with that right now. But instead of doing that, just make that larger. Stick the service bay underneath it. Open that up. Do that. Get ourselves a Terrier there on the end. Plenty of Delta V. Let's make it actually a little bit longer here. Beautiful. Get that on there. Right there in the service bay, let's just get ourselves a pair of goos. 2 goo. 2 thermometer. Just like that. Close that up. Actually, no. What we want to do is we want to try and store some more batteries in here. Please. Is it gonna let me? Why is it being so weird? Not sure what the problem here is, but... Put them like that. Actually, let's put them just like this. Stick them like that. Why is it doing this? I don't know. It's acting all weird. But... You know what? Let's just put them on the outside. This thing's not going to survive re-entry anyways. Who gives a fuck? And it's not like this thing's going to be coming back anyways either, so... Why is it... That is so annoying that it does that. Let's stick a bunch of battery packs on there. Close that up. And let's put some decouplers on there. Big ol' boosters. Those are safe and sound on there now. Put some nose cones on there. Alright, get up and stretch. Alright, I will do that. I will get up and I will stretch. There we go. Stretch complete. Thank you for that redeem. I am all nice and stretched now. Why is it only letting me do two-fold symmetry? I don't know. Do that. We're not really gonna need a reaction wheel, are we? Well, we'll put one on there anyways. Let's get... Can we put it inside of this? We can. That's excellent. And then these we can actually put on here. I mean, if it works, it works. If it works, it works. Don't question the method. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but... if it works, it works. Don't question the method. Stick those a little further down there. I mean, it's a spacecraft, alright, that's for sure. Let's call this the fuck-ass one. Save it. Let's get working on the staging here. Those go there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. Yeah. That's really all we need. And then we also do need antenna. Let's put... No, I'm trying to zoom in. I may be stupid. So the high gain antenna is short range. These are much longer. So let's open this bay. So it does open that way. So we need to be wary of that. Let's just put them right up here. Put those there. Put those there. Put those there. This thing looks so fucking ugly, but I don't care in the slightest. The decoupler here, move that. Payload. Let's put a fairing around all this. There we go, we got a fairing. Okay, first stage is these two things, then these get jettisoned. Then we've got this separates and that comes off and that engine starts. The fuck-ass one is, I believe, ready to go. What the fuck is this thing, dude? What in the fuck is this? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what I am doing anymore, but this thing is fucking interesting. What in the goddamn is this? Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my goodness, dude. One of the spacecraft of all time. It's certainly fucking something. I'm just begging this thing to stay upright because I don't have SAS on it. So I have minimal control. Besides, like, vaguely trying to tell it to stay upright. Holy shit, we're going fast. And we are not gonna stop just thrusting straight upwards here. I don't give a fuck. We're just going up. This is so fucking, such a weird-ass rocket, dude. Why did I make this thing? What is this, dude? What the fuck? Fuck-ass rocket, bruh. I wonder how high we're even gonna get. I don't know. One way to find out. I guess the fairing decided not to decouple, which is really funny. Okay, so the goo is not available to use yet. So I think we're literally just going to try and see how high we can push our orbit. Fucking Jebediah over on the moon there, look at him! He's watching this shit happen going, are they coming to save me? Finally? Nope, sorry Jeb. Sorry, buddy. We are sending a probe off into space just to see how far it'll fucking go. Rest in peace, Jebediah. You will be missed. Alright. We're almost on an escape trajectory. Alright. Now that we've got this, I wonder... Because we don't have SAS. But what we do have is the reaction wheel, so I can manually push this thing around. So, I'm wondering... So let's fast forward time a bit here. So we are in space high now. I don't remember if this is any different. No, it's not. We already got that, so it's no big deal there. But let's fast forward till we leave Kerbin. Did I lose communications? I did. That's a problem. Because that means that I can't do anything with this spacecraft after it leaves that vicinity. So, I'm going to revert to launch. I'm going to try and see if we can get this thing into a high Kerbin orbit. Why is my Z key not working? There we go. Z is for full thrust. Sorry, I should have specified. But, I'm going to try and get this thing into just a high Kerbin orbit. And then I'm going to try and maybe see if I can get it to Minmus area-ish. I don't know. Because the communications cuts out after you leave Kerbin's sphere of influence, basically. Which is a problem. So, a few more meters per second of delta V left on there. Get rid of those things. Keep going up as high as we can. And give ourselves as much time as we possibly can, too, before we have to reach a maneuver node, because this thing is really finicky to turn. So let's try and get ourselves to an apoapsis of like 500,000, or however much our fuel's going to take us before we actually have to do our turn. And I think it'll be just over 500 or 600,000. 556,000, I was pretty close. So yeah, we have the staging a little messed up there, but I don't really care too much. Just need to burn that off. There we go. And then add maneuver. No, not there. No, remove that. No, remove that. Stop. Add the maneuver here to just circularize our orbit. And that's not quite what I was going for, but sure. Let's do that. And because we have our trusty reaction wheel, it's going to be easy to turn this thing. So let me just get that in line. Warp on up to our maneuver. We're almost up. Almost there. Minute and a few seconds left. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start our burn. I don't really care too much about precision here, just as long as the damn thing flies. But we're just going to try and get ourselves into a roughly circular orbit here. It doesn't have to be anything too pretty. But it just has to make sure we don't come back down into the atmosphere, obviously. Almost there. Just a little more to go. A little further. Come on. It's taking its sweet time because it's a slow but efficient engine. Come on now. You can do it, engine. You got this. There we go. Got it as precisely as we could there. So now we're going to plan when we're down here. We are going to... I said when we're down here. We are going to try and boost ourselves up to... right about the moon's orbit. Actually, let's set the moon as our target. Our ascending node is going to be over here. So let's go boost that up. Try and get some more moon science during a flyby. And let's also see if we can't get that on a trajectory to meet Minmus. Little bit. No, whoa, Do that. And then once we're in that orbit, we can adjust that all we need. So let's use our reaction wheel here. Boink. And we're going to be heading basically this direction, burning for 21 seconds here. Nothing too fancy. Just trying to very carefully adjust my node there. We are almost to our node. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. And this is going to take us right past the moon. Almost. That should take us close enough. Oop, a little too far. Ah, calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down there, navigation ball. Ah, come on. Close enough. We're going to be coming very close to the moon there, so let's time warp to our moon encounter. Still got full connection to the KSC. Still got full connection, so all is well. We're approaching our moon encounter. And it does this stupid thing every time where it slows way down as soon as we get right close to it. Come on. Alright. We're coming on a slingshot on the opposite side of the moon from where Jebediah is, unfortunately. But let's warp right over here. No probe control, that is an issue. Because that means we're just gonna sling right past the moon without control of anything. But, thankfully, we're on the trajectory we need to be on. So let's just speed on back up. Speed on back up to leave the moon's sphere of influence. I said speed on back up. Okay. Now that we are back out here. So, it looks like we lose connection just past the moon. Which is a little bit stupid in my opinion, because what the fuck are these antennae good for then? Let's come back closer. And we still do not have connection. We're out of electricity, that's why. That's our problem. Is we don't have solar panels or anything because we don't have those unlocked. If we go down to electrical, all we have is fucking rechargeable battery pack. So I don't think this is a feasible mission yet. So we gotta figure out what we're actually gonna be doing. Because we don't have many options left to get more science. We could try and build, like, a little shit-ass rover or something. Because we do have this little thing. We've got our fuck-ass little fuselages. And we've got... We have landing gear, so if we put a little jet engine on the back of this thing... Oh, I have the dumbest idea. We gotta give it a try. We gotta give it a try. So we've got this thing. Put some of those on there. Put a Terrier engine on it. Oh god, this is gonna be so stupid, dude. But we need the science. So, let's put these here. And on these, let's put some steerable landing gear. I don't know why they're turned like that. Putting them just like that. Oh god, dude. What the fuck? What is this vehicle, dude? What am I making? What the fuck, man? Oh my god. What in the actual hell am I doing? There is something so wrong with me when I play this game, I swear to god. Ah, yes, a car. This is our car. Our beautiful fucking... Oh my god, what is this, dude? What the fuck? Why am I making this? What am I doing? Oh my. Let's put that on there. Shrink that on down. This is a fucking mess of a vehicle. But you know what? We're gonna make it worse. Just hold on 1 second. Gonna get some little jet engines on the sides for added movement. Some circular air intakes. Let's put them up a little bit to the sides there. What the fuck, man? What is this thing? What the fucking kind of rocket is this? I don't know. Let's put some of those on there. Some of those. Some of those. Actually, this is a really good opportunity for me to bring along a Science Junior because we don't have to worry about fuel cost. So let's move those forward. Can this thing open? Yes, it can. Dude, what is this vehicle? What have I made? The center of mass is right there, so this is a pretty good balance, actually. For good measure, let's put some little flag things on here. Just so everyone knows who's rolling up to the function. What the fuck is this thing? Where are the lights? I know we have lights. Here they are. Navigation lights. You can hardly tell which way they're facing. There we go. Put those there. Put those there. Oh, this little fucking vehicle, dude. What the hell? These are steerable, so in theory, I should be able to turn. You know, it might not be a bad idea for me to put the Delta Deluxe winglets on here so we have a little bit of control. What the fuck, dude? The fuck shit one. Oh, we already called something the fuck shit one. Let's call it the one. And for some added scientific variety, actually, we want to bring along our scientist for this one. For some added scientific variety, we're going to launch from the desert airfield. This is one of the vehicles I've ever made. One of the vehicles of all time. Look at this fucking thing. Look at this fucking thing, dude. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god, it's actually, it can roll around a little bit on its own. Just because of the slope of the fucking runway. Yay, wee! I am getting too much amusement out of this thing. Do the brakes work? No. Okay, that's something to be aware of. Oxidizer deprived. Does the Mark I liquid fuel fuselage not have oxidizer? I don't know. Oh, it's a little bit unsteady. This thing wants to be an airplane. Let's conduct our materials study while we're here. Close those doors. Observe the mystery goo. Actually, we've already done that here, it seems. We've already done that. We've already done that. Okay. So let's head on over this way. What in the fuck am I driving, dude? What is this? Bob is not so sure about this. He's like, what the actual hell, man? He's like, where are we, dude? He's like, what the actual fuck? Oh, this thing is touchy, though, I'll tell you what. It's gonna have a difficult time stopping. Okay, we're driving in a straight line. Bob, real quick, get out. Okay, we already have an EVA report from here, so let's just get Bob back in there. What is bro doing? What is this vehicle? Oh! We flipped over. Okay. I don't know what I expected to happen. Okay, I wonder real quick, is there a way, difficulty options? Okay, I can, in fact, alter these while I'm going. I think I am going to make the Kerbals have, where are they? Can I not change that? Where is it? I might have to do a little cheating to, because I want to re-enable that the Kerbals can just, like, do everything already, because it's a little annoying not having the SAS functionalities. So I'm going to revert flight back to Spaceplane Hangar, and I'm going to open up the lovely cheats menu. So we're going to go to, not there, we're going to go here, difficulty, we can't do anything about that, but our Kerbals, can we alter you guys somehow? No, but we can create Kerbals. I wonder if I just go cheats, science, maximum experience is I think what I want. All crew members are now fully experienced. That's what I wanted. Because that should mean... Yes, okay, they can all actually do everything now, which is what I wanted. Snack check, alright. I got more Oreos to be working on anyways, so I will eat some. Alright. Had my snack. Let's open up, was it the fuck shit or the shit ass? I think it was the shit ass. Let's check out the fuck shit. Yeah, that was this one. The fuck shit one, you can be deleted. The shit ass one, though, you can stay. What you need is a good pilot. You got Valentina there. Okay, I think I'm gonna do another launch of the shit-ass one. This time from the island airfield. And let me check my messages real quick. Oh, good. Yeah, the island airfield is all the way out here. You can actually still see the KSC right over on the shore here. I'm quite a ways away from it. But now we actually have all the SAS nodes, or node types unlocked because we got a more experienced Kerbal because I cheated it in, but I think it's a necessary cheat, honestly. So let's just taxi on out. And we've got brakes on this thing, so I'm going to taxi down here. To the very end of the runway. And then I'm going to turn around, and then I'm going to take off. Alright, do a little turning around here. And let's do a little taking off. Probably not the direction I'm supposed to be taking off, but it'll work. We've already been over in this biome, so this doesn't matter too much. And let's head off. Somewhere. I think we're gonna want to actually turn this way. Yeah, let's turn this way. Get ourselves back upright and do a little climbing. This thing looks like a jetliner, that's what it looks like, because it's got like 5 fucking engines. So we're going up, up, up into the air. So we can get a better view of everything around us. So let's head off towards this landmass over here. We're just doing some exploring. If I could stay upright, for fuck's sake. Yep. Head off this way. Whoa! Calm down, airplane. Don't know what's up with that. We're far away from the airfield now, so we're gonna keep on moving. I don't know why the nose keeps pointing down, but that's a little annoying. Bleed off a little bit of our speed there. Okay, the plane does not like time warp. The let's keep heading off this way here. How you doing in there, Valentina? Ooh, pretty view. At least this thing will tell us what biome we're flying over, so if we find something new, it'll actually let us know. Because currently we are over the shores. Let's cut our engines for a second, just so we can bleed off some velocity. We're probably not going to try going in for a landing here, because this is just grasslands. But it is getting to be nighttime, so maybe a landing is in order. So let's actually do that. Let's land right here. I love the parachutes because I could just pop them out and just, like, do this. And it just works. And let's shut down our engines for now. There we go. So it's nice and quiet. And we're gonna come on down, hopefully for a soft landing. Doesn't look like it's gonna be very soft. Yep, we lost all but one of our engines, so that one's just gonna stay off. But let's brake for a second here. Warp to sunrise. Thunderstorm. But let's try and get back out of here. See if our plane even has enough lift. We'll see. It looks like we actually might take off. Wow. I'm amazed that got back in the air after what it went through. Because there's only one engine left on this side. So we're going to have to do constant adjusting because of that. It's not going to be a very fast flight, but it took off. I don't know how far it's going to get. I think it's going to hit the side of this mountain here, honestly, but... Let's deploy your parachute, bail you out of there, Valentina. And just make sure you get down safely. Yes, you can, in fact, go parachuting as a Kerbal. Poor girl had to eject in the middle of a thunderstorm. And bonk. Let's just get a little bit of fucking science from there. Plant a flag. And let's just title it, Ow, fuck. That hurt. And let's get you back on home, Valentina. Well, we got 2.3 science. And we've got the wreckage of the spacecraft all the way over there. The shit-ass one debris. Let's recover that. So, the problem I'm seeing with the shit-ass one is that oftentimes these engines here, when we land, are hitting. So, I believe what we might have to do is move the engines up. Somehow. Like, move them further up like that. That should work. They're clipping through the top a little bit, but I can excuse it. Yeah, I don't really have a way to cover that up. Or maybe there's a better way I can do that? Wait, hold on, I've got a better idea. Don't save. Shit-ass one. Load the normal shit-ass one. And then on these, let's get our... Do we have more landing gear? I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah, we do. So we can put these on there. Let's shrink them down a little bit here. Yeah, that works, like, perfectly. So let's take those and... No. Put these on there as well. And look at that! We got a little cushioning on the bottom for this thing when it lands somewhere. I might actually have to move those landing gear in a little bit. Just so they don't interrupt too much with the rest of the plane. So if the bottom of these hit, the landing gear should hit first. So I'm gonna move the landing gear forward on both parts of this thing. That is not what I was trying to do. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Can I please put it back on? That's close enough. Sure, man. Good enough. Put those back on there. Move those back on up there so they don't interrupt with the rest of the aircraft. That should work. Should. Call this thing the shit-ass 1.5. I do think we need more parachutes. More parachutes are always good. Let's do that. And let's replace this thing with a Science Junior. Let's see how that affects the center of mass. Should be the same. Shouldn't have any issues here. Let's put all those parachutes in the same stage. The shit-ass 1.5 should be ready to go. Let's give it a try. Okay, the shit-ass 1.5 is stable. These aren't actually touching the ground too much. Even if they were, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. SAS turned on. Our gear is on. Let's turn our brakes on for a second here, just while we check to see where we could go. I think just flying... Actually. I think scientists, on when they're level 5 or whatever the fuck, should have the ability to do SAS. So let's just make sure of that, because I don't know for sure, obviously. But this guy should be able to do... Okay, no pilots aboard. So I think what I'm going to do is replace this here with a Mark 1 crew cabin, so we have a pilot on board, but we also have a scientist. So let's get zoomed back in here. Take that off. Move that. I believe it's under one of these. Don't remember where. Utility. Mark 1 crew cabin. Do that. Put that back on there. No, that's not what I was trying to do. That's the entire fucking back of the plane. Let's move that down there. Back a little bit. And in. Awesome. Our crew is going to consist of all three of these guys. Valentina, you can be the pilot, you can be the scientist, Bob, and Bill is the engineer. The shit-ass 1.5 should be ready to go now, because we've got an actual pilot on board. Keep our brakes on. Conduct a materials study before we even get moving, because it does a little bit of science. Close that on up. Can you guys even EVA? No, you can't. Automatic EVA disabled. Activate a hatch? I don't even know what that means. Is this a hatch? I think... Is this how we do this? Hatch is obstructed. No, it's not. It's on the top. Is this the hatch? I don't know what the hatch is here. How do I... Is there some way I can get this guy on out of here? Crew hatch. Okay, so why was it saying there was another hatch? What? Where is this mystery hatch? Is it inside the plane? Why is it there? What the fuck, dude? Why would you put that there? Are they stupid? Let's figure out how to transfer crew. This part's full, so she can't even go there. But if she EVAs, and if I go back to the actual main craft, if I transfer Bill up to the front there, how am I gonna do this? What the fuck, dude? I don't even know if this is possible. Actually, if I set the gear down... Okay, yeah, if I set the gear down, then we won't have any issues. Valentina, you can get off of there. I switched to the flag? Okay. Transfer... Get Bill on EVA here. Collect the data from this. Remove the data. I thought you were a scientist. What the fuck? Store experiment. Was it Bob? Was Bob the one? Bob. Bill. Transfer. So Bob must be... Or not transfer, no. Bob, you go EVA. You restore the science. Climb back on. This is so much more complicated than it needs to be. You can't board a full module. So let's transfer you back to there. You get back inside. Put the gear back out. Reactivate our SAS. And now we should be off to go. Off to go? Good to go. Whatever. Oh, we have our brakes on still. There we go. That might help. I was like, why the fuck are we not accelerating? That's why. Dipshit. Like, no fucking wonder, Callie. Can we conduct the material study here? Yes, we can. Close those doors back up. Let's do a simple little loop back around. And let's get ourselves on down. Try and do a landing here. Activate the parachutes. I'm not gonna be able to land. There we go. Perfect. And then all I gotta do is do this. And then one of you is an engineer, I know that much. But Valentina, you get out, collect the data from that, remove the data, get back in. I believe... Okay, yeah, Valentina, actually, get back out. Do some more transferring of crew. Bob, I think, is the engineer. I don't remember. Or the scientist. Okay, Bob's the scientist. Bill... You can go up there. And Bill, you go EVA. Because I think this guy can repack our chutes. Yes, he can. He's repacking all our parachutes so we can take back off and head off to a new biome. This is certainly one way to get science. There we go. Our chutes are all repacked. Our science is reset. Bro fucking ran someone over in his process of getting back on board. Let's transfer you to back there. Valentina, no, Bob. Conduct a material study down here. Keep that experiment, collect the data, restore, get back on board, transfer you back to there. This is so complicated and funny. Get you back in there. Parachutes are all restored. Brakes are off. SAS is back on. Let's point ourselves this way and take back off. That was quite possibly the funniest way I could have done that, but it worked. And we are off and away from the shores. That was fucking hilarious. And our parachutes are all ready. Let's fix up our staging here. Alright. Every time we land somewhere new, we're gonna have to repeat that process, but we're gonna need to make sure we have a place to actually take off, is the issue. And I think right here is going to be our next stop. Try and get ourselves pointed relatively normally. Get our brakes and our gear out. Lower ourselves on down gently. Is the material study any good here? Yes, it is. Let's keep that. Boink. I hope I didn't break anything. I don't think I did. Everything still seems to be working alright. I saw worrying particles, which is why I was wondering, like, did something happen? Now we're gonna have to do all that all over again. Get you out. Transfer you. Get you out. start with repacking the parachutes. Can I do them from this side? Do I have to walk all the way around? Yeah, we can just get up on there. Do that. Fall over. Get our guy from back here. Put him up there. Get out. Collect the data. Remove the data. Restore the project. Take a surface sample. It's worth 0.6 science. Yeah, we don't really need that. Get back in. Cannot be stored on this Mark 1 cockpit. Are you sure you want to continue? That's an issue. So let's recover you. You're gonna bring back some science. And then let's recover Bill. Recover Valentina. And recover the shit-ass 1.5. And we have enough science now after that jank-ass fucking whatever that was. So, we gotta figure out here what we're actually gonna get. We've got electrics, which would be really helpful. We've got propulsion systems, lifters, efficient propulsion, fuel systems, aerodynamics, helicopter blades, advanced flight control. This is RCS stuff, which is really good. Space exploration, which adds rover parts and ladders. Miniaturization for small stuff. Electrics, which is all solar panels and stuff like that. And an unmanned unit, which would be really good. So I think, because it's got the inline rechargeable battery bank, it's got the unmanned thing, I'm going to go for that. I will hydrate. Thank you for the hydration check, Cookie. I will do that real quick, right before we start ending off things. Alright. I am all nice and hydrated. I'm gonna save our game as Stream 2. Quit to the main menu. All of y'all, please stick around. I'm gonna try and find someone for us to raid. I don't know if anyone's gonna be available to raid, but we'll see. So please do stick around real quick. I'm gonna set us to our ending soon stream, stream, whatever the fuck. Following, let's see. Is there anyone alive that I can drop on in with? Damn, I really do stream at inconvenient times. There's like nobody alive. Yeah, okay, once again, we are not going to be doing any more. We're not going to be doing any raiding. So I'm going to just be ending off stream here real quick. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will probably be streaming on June 3rd. I don't know for sure, but after that, it'll be a few days before I'm able to stream again. So if I don't see you guys then, have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and I will see you around. Bye-bye.